good morning Year 9. Today we are going to be making macaroni cheese. Bit of a quick video today because we've got lots to do. Right, I've got some water boiling here which I boiled it in my kettle so it's ready. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in here. Be careful you don't hit the handle, okay? Popping my macaroni in. Okay, I'm only going to use, I'm going to use some of it, not all of it, okay? There we go. Letting that boil. We're going to add salt in here for flavour. About a teaspoon of salt. Okay, now let that boil. To boil it quickly, quick trick, put the lid on it, okay? So hopefully that will bring to the boil straight away. I have got some garlic here because I like a bit of flavour in our mac and cheese. With my knife, just peeling the garlic, the ends of it. And then I crush the garlic with a knife, blade facing that way, and just with my palm, I'll be crushing that, okay? Now, peeling it. Taking all the debris and putting that in the bin. Okay, again, crushing it again, making sure the knife blade is facing that way, just to make it easier to cut. Now, you just mince this, okay? But you're doing this by hand. Okay. If you have garlic powder as well, you can use garlic powder. But today we're going to be using some fresh garlic, okay? So taking that off the blade, there you go. Obviously making sure your hands are clean when you start cooking. So you're washing your hands before and in the middle, because when you have food on them, you might want them a little bit cleaner, okay? Putting the lid on the oil so that it doesn't spill. Okay, leaving it there. Now I'm going to start my roux. Placing our pan. I have used this one so it's easier to see inside the pan. So hopefully you can see inside the pan. Just checking on my pasta. Okay. These pans are really good because they've got some holes on the side here so it can release some air while it's actually cooking. Putting that on a medium temperature. Taking my wooden spoon, and I may need a hand whisk, so I'm going to use that, okay, just in case. Some people make mac and cheese quite simply. They just place salt and pepper in there. I like to add a little bit of flavour, and I'm sure you guys do as well. If you don't, then you can just go with salt and pepper. That's heated up nicely. Butter. Okay, we haven't got the butter here, so I'm going to go with some oil. Okay, so this is an alternative. I would like you guys to use some butter when you're cooking. Right, excellent. Got some flour here. I'm going to pop that in. Okay, now that's about 2 tablespoons of flour, but you can add it as you prefer, okay? So just letting the flour cook with the oil. Sometimes you might not have the ingredients at home, so you have to improvise. So today what I've done is I've improvised, okay? Just letting that cook gently. Checking on my pasta. Obviously you guys will be working in groups, so we can all be sharing this job, okay? I think I'll put a little bit more flour in here. You can use corn flour or plain flour, whichever you prefer. This dish you'll be able to make at home as well for a meal, okay? If you're having a family meal, if you want to have a meal by yourself, you can use that. Putting that a little bit in there as well. Okay. So at this point, because the oil is cooking, I'm going to place my garlic inside, okay? So I'm going to let that cook. Be careful of overspilling here. All right, so just lifting that lid up when you need to, or turning the temperature down. Here we go. Now, where this is cooking gently, putting the temperature down, because we don't want the temperature too high, okay? Time for my milk. Putting in a small amount at a time. With the other hand, you're stirring, okay? You see, I'm not putting all of the milk in one go. I'm gently adding a little bit in at a time, okay? So put some in there, and where it's formed some lumps, I am going to just take those lumps out, okay? My temperature is low, I can put it up a little bit because the milk's probably a little bit cold. Okay, checking on my pasta. Brilliant, just giving this a moment to cook. Going over here, taking the lid off, and just stirring the pasta so it's not stuck to the bottom, okay? Letting all the oil particles get in between all the pasta. Putting the lid back on there, letting that cook. Okay, so as you can see, this is now bubbling a little bit, taking all those lumps out. So I just move all of this to this side of the pan. Okay. Right, a little bit lumpy, so what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to add some more milk. This is the time where you add a little bit more milk, okay? Or all of the milk that you measured out already. I will give you measurements of what you need to be bringing in, okay? All right, excellent. Keep on whisking this, okay? This won't damage our pan because it's got a nice rounded edge here, okay? So I'm using this non-stick pan. You can use, making sure it doesn't overboil again. So sometimes just pop it like that, okay? So it's not got all of it. Brilliant. Taking all those lumps up, but remember that we have got some garlic in here as well, okay? So it's gonna have a couple of lumps because it's got the garlic in it. Taking all the flour lump particles out. Sorry, I'm quite picky with this bit. Here we go. Beautiful. That's nice and smooth now. So I'm going to add some flavour. Some chili powder, so it'll stuck to the bottom. I'm going to be adding a little bit of mustard. A little bit of all-purpose seasoning. So a little bit of mixed herbs. And some salt and pepper. So I'm just going to open this. About a teaspoon of salt. And a generous amount of pepper, okay? Going to give that a quick stir. Now this will start to thicken quite quickly, okay? And you can see all the colours in the sauce, in the roux here. If you're going to a restaurant, your mac and cheese won't be like this. You have the option of adding these ingredients in. You do not have to add all these ingredients in, okay? I just like to show you every possible opportunity you can have to add flavour to your food, okay? Or you can make it simple. You can just put salt and pepper, which is fine. Here, I have some cream cheese. Okay, putting the temperature down on my roux. Taking a spoon, taking a nice large tablespoon of cream cheese. Okay, you can buy that in any supermarket. Tidying up as I'm going along, making sure everything's safely put. Taking a handful of cheese and putting that in there. Okay, a big, nice, generous handful of cheese. Now I just want to melt these two cheeses. Anyone prefer to have mac and cheese with just salt and pepper? Anyone?
Yes.
Or would you like flavour? You salt and pepper, okay? So when it comes to cooking, remember, if you're working in a group, have to meet halfway with everyone, okay? Okay. And this will go into the oven once it's cooked, okay? Just to soften up, brown up over there. Miss, if you could put the oven on for us, please. Brilliant. Now I'm going to turn this off, okay? Because my sauce is really nice and thick, as you can see, okay? Everything has melted, the cheese has melted. Okay, just keep on stirring that, but my heat is turned off now because I don't want it to get extra thick, okay? If you think it's too thick, you can sometimes add a little bit more milk in there as well, if you want, okay? Putting that in the sink, because I don't need that anymore. Just going to check on my pasta now, because that's what we need next, okay, is the pasta. Taking another wooden spoon, because I've used that one. And that quick stir. You can use the pasta water as well sometimes if you think it's too thick, okay? Some people like it a little bit runnier, some people like it quite thick. Okay, I'm going to give that another minute just to boil. And in that time, I'm just going to make sure my pan over here, my dish, this goes in the oven, is heat proof. You guys will be using the foil containers, okay? So you can bring them from home if you like. Saves you buying one here. Just wiping that, making sure there's no foreign bodies in there. Okay, putting that to the side. My sauce is nice and thick and my pasta is now ready, okay? Taking a colander. At this point I'm going to clear my sink of any dishes that I have, okay? Because I want to make sure that there's nothing in the way because the water's going to be hot. Taking the lid off, being very careful, moving this out the way. Taking my pan with hot water around like this, okay? I want to save some of this water, so there's a little bit of a trick here. You've got to be quick. Shake the pasta around, pour it in, and then place it underneath. So the excess water will go into the pan, just in case you want to make it a little bit thicker, okay? Now, take this over here, being very careful. Okay? Now, looking at the ratio of the sauce to the actual pasta, I think it might be too much, okay? So what I'm going to do, just draining it a little bit. I'm going to drain the water. Place my pasta into this bowl. Bring it back to the stove because it's hot. And now I'm going to pour that sauce in, okay? Because when you're cooking this at home, maybe you can use some of the sauce later. You can freeze it, put it in the fridge. Okay, giving that a quick stir. You can see it in there. I think you can do a little bit more sauce. That will really come in handy for something else. Maybe you want to make a piece of chicken and put that sauce on top. You can use it for many different things, okay? Now, I think this dish is going to be too big. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to grab one more. Okay. Right, taking my pan, so again, just wiping it just in case there's anything on there. And now pouring, I'm going to turn it so you guys can see it, my mac and cheese into my dish. 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Putting that over here. Making sure the handles are on the side so I'm not hitting it, okay? Taking some cheese, placing it on top. Being careful because I don't want to make a mess as well, okay? Here we go. And then this you put into the oven for about 10-15 minutes on 180 degrees, and you have a lovely creamy mac and cheese for you to enjoy. Thank you.